Good morning, students. Welcome to our online class. This is your second period, and the subject is political science. Students, today I'll begin the class with a thought. That means thought for the day. And the thought goes like this: there is a great difference between worry and concern. I repeat, there is a great difference between worry and concern. A worried person sees a problem and a concerned person solves the problem. I repeat, a worried person sees a problem and a concerned person solves the problem. So, good morning, students. Now, students, coming to our topic, in political science we have completed many chapters. We have completed, first book is almost all over, that is Cold War era, end of bipolarity, alternate centers of power, contemporary South Asia, international organization, globalization. These lessons are over. Book 1 is over. Now coming to book 2, challenges of nation building, nation politics of planned development, India's external relations. This was not over. Next one, crisis of democratic order, recent developments in Indian politics. So recent development in Indian politics we have completed, and the crisis of democratic order, that means democratic resurgence. We have studied that chapter also. Only 2 chapters are left. One is India's external relations. Next one, challenges to the Congress system. That means one book is there. That is Congress system, biparty system, coalition governments. So that topic you have to complete. So today, students, I am taking up a new topic, that is India's external relations from book 2. That is politics. The book 2, you know the book 2 name, that is Politics in India Since Independence. So from this book, that is chapter 4, that is India's external relations. India's external relations we will read. In this chapter, students, you are going to read, in this chapter, you are going to read what is foreign policy, what is foreign policy, what is the foreign policy of India, who is the architect of India's foreign policy, why India adopted non-alignment as its foreign policy at the time, what are the foundational principles of Indian foreign policy, India's external relations with other countries, with China and with the other new countries, USA, Russia, Middle East, these countries. You please remember that in this chapter we will not read the relations of India with Pakistan, the relations of India with Bangladesh, the relations of India with and Myanmar, or I can say that is Sri Lanka. We will read with the new powers, new countries. Okay. So India's relations with Russia, USA, Middle East, China, these relations we will study, how the relations were. Okay, now coming to first, what is foreign policy? What is meant by foreign policy? Because the chapter name itself is what? India's external relations. So what is foreign policy? Here in the textbook he gave one definition. What is foreign policy? See, I am reading. Foreign policy means the policy which an independent country. Foreign policy means the policy which an independent country adopts towards other independent countries. Whenever an independent country adopts any policy towards other independent countries, towards other countries, that is termed as foreign policy. Like that is given. I repeat once again. Foreign policy means, or foreign policy may be defined as, the policy which an independent nation or independent country adopts towards other independent countries is called foreign policy. I will give another definition. Listen. Foreign policy may be defined as, okay, foreign policy may be defined as a set of rules and regulations. A set of rules and regulations which helps in promoting and preserving our country's interest in the international arena. A set of rules and regulations that helps in protecting and promoting our country's interest in the international arena or international level, that is called foreign policy. Foreign policy may be defined as a set of rules and regulations which helps a country in protecting, in promoting the country's interest, the country's national interest in the international arena, that is called what? Foreign policy. Both the definitions I give. One is, foreign policy means the policy which an independent country adopts towards other independent countries. Or foreign policy may be defined as a set of rules and regulations through which a country's national interest is protected and promoted in the international arena or international affairs, that is called foreign policy. The chief architect of India's foreign policy was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the chief architect of Indian foreign policy, and he adopted non-alignment movement. Now, non-alignment, I will not say non-alignment movement, non-alignment. Non-alignment, I mean not to join, not to allig. So non-alignment is the foreign policy of India. When he adopted this foreign policy, there was a lot of criticism from other leaders. But Nehru thought this is the best policy to be adopted for our country like India, because India got independence after World War II. After 1945, it got independence. So, depending upon the situation, non-alignment will be the best foreign policy for India. So, Nehru chose non-alignment as a foreign policy, depends upon the need and necessity of the hour at that time. There was a lot of criticism. Leave that one. So today you came to know the foreign policy of India is non-alignment, and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the chief architect of Indian foreign policy. Foreign policy means a set of rules and regulations which helps in protecting, promoting a country's national interest in the international arena is called foreign policy. Or foreign policy means the policy which an independent country adopts towards other independent countries is called foreign policy. Now, one more thing I want to tell you here. Foreign policy which is adopted once, whether it can be changed or not, it can be modified or not. Can we modify our foreign policy? That is the question. I mean, the foreign policy which once adopted, can it be changed over time? Depends upon the situation, need and necessity. Depends upon the global conditions. Yes, of course. Foreign policy can be changed depending upon the need and necessity. Depends upon the conditions. It can be changed. It can be modified. The foreign policy of India can be modified, depends upon the need and necessity. Now, one question I'm telling. Who is considered as the main architect of foreign policy of India? Just I told you. Who is considered or who was considered as the main architect, I mean framer of India's foreign policy? And what was his position? Yes? The chief architect of India's foreign policy was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. His position, he was the first Prime Minister of India. He was the first Prime Minister of interim government. He was the first Prime Minister of independent India. That was his position. Next one. Mention any two basic principles. Mention any two basic principles of India's foreign policy. Mention any two basic principles of Indian foreign policy, India's foreign policy. Listen, this is one more question. Mention any two basic principles in Indian foreign policy. Or the same question can be asked like that. Mention any two principles in Indian foreign policy. Basic principles or principles of two principles in Indian foreign policy. Mention the two basic principles in Indian foreign policy or mention the policies of India's foreign, mention the principles of Indian foreign policy. Now, number one. The two important principles of Indian foreign policy were or are. The two important principles of Indian foreign policy are, number one, non-alignment, not to join either of the two military blocs which were formed after World War II. Non-alignment, first one. Second one, maintaining friendly relations with all the countries. Maintaining friendly relations with other countries, non-alignment as the two basic principles of Indian foreign policy. One is non-alignment, second is what? Maintaining friendly relations with other countries. Now, here I said we will not read about Bangladesh, we will not read about Sri Lanka, we will not read about Pakistan, we will not read about Myanmar. We will read relations of India with the new countries, Russia, America, Middle East, China, etc., etc. But still I am telling, for knowledge sake, when is Bangladesh came into existence? Yes, right answer. Bangladesh, which is earlier called East Pakistan, came into existence, became independence in the year 1971, and it was formed due to the partition of Pakistan. Pakistan was partitioned between East and West Pakistan. So the East Pakistan is turned into what? Bangladesh. It became independent in 1971, December 1971. Similarly, when Pakistan became independence, Pakistan became independence, that is 1947. Pakistan was established as an independent state in the year 1947. Its main reason was the partition of India into two states, India and Pakistan. Similarly, when China became independence, I am telling all countries, in every country, when they got independence. China got independence on 1949. October 1st, 1949. People's Republic of China became there 1st October 1949. So People's Republic of China was established in China after the Communist Revolution in 1949. Next one agreement. What is Panchsheel agreement and between which two countries it was signed and when it was signed? What was Panchsheel agreement and between which two countries it was signed and when it was signed? Your answer. The Panchsheel agreement is agreement signed between India and China. The Panchsheel. 5 principles are there. The Panchsheel agreement was signed between India and China. It was signed in the year 1954. Panchsheel agreement is an agreement signed between India and China. It was signed between the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India, and Zhou Enlai, the Prime Minister of China, the Premier of China. Premier means what here? Prime Minister. Chinese Premier. So People's Republic of China was emerged in the year 1949. In 1954, Panchsheel agreement was signed between India and China. It was signed between the two Prime Ministers of both the countries. One is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the Prime Minister of India, and Zhou Enlai, the Premier or the Prime Minister of China. It was signed in the 1954. It consists of 5 principles. Panchsheel agreement, it consists of 5 principles. 5 principles are there. Do you want to know? Yes, listen. Panchsheel I am explaining what is the meaning of Panchsheel. Complete information about Panchsheel I am giving. Panchsheel is an important characteristic of India's the foreign policy of India. Panchsheel is an important characteristic of the foreign policy of India. It is one of the feature of our foreign policy. Panchsheel. Panchsheel is an important characteristic of the foreign policy of India. Panchsheel means 5 principles. What does Panchsheel means? Panchsheel means 5 principles. In 1954, Dadan Prime Minister at the time, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and the Chinese Prime Minister Chou Enlai, Chou Enlai, Chou Enlai, signed signed an agreement in which the 5 principles of mutual relations were included. 5 mutual principles were included. The following are the 5 principles of Panchsheel. The following are the 5 principles of Panchsheel. What are they? Number 1. 5 principles are there. Number 1. Mutual respect for each other, territorial integrity and sovereignty. Each country, India should respect the boundaries of China. China should respect the boundaries of India. We should not interfere in their country. They should not interfere in our country. We should protect the unity and integrity of their country. They should protect the unity and integrity of our country. But this is not following. So first principle is what? Mutual respect for each other, territorial integrity and sovereignty. First principle. Territorial means what? Here, boundaries. Integrity, unity. Sovereignty, independence. Second one, mutual non-aggression. One country should not wage war on another country. They should not wage war on India. India should not wage war on China. Non-aggression. Third one, non-interference in each other's internal relations. India should not interfere in their internal relations. China also not to interfere in the internal relations of India. Equality and mutual benefit. Both countries should work on the terms of equality with mutual respect. Equality and mutual respect. Next one, peaceful coexistence. Peaceful coexistence. I repeat, Panchsheel is an important characteristic of Indian foreign policy. Panchsheel consists of 5 principles. In 1954, it was signed. This agreement was signed between India and China. It was signed between the first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and the Prime Minister of China, Chou Enlai, in 1954. Okay, this Panchsheel includes 5 principles of mutual relations, which were number 1, mutual respect to the territorial integrity and sovereignty of each country, non-aggression, okay, non-interference in each other's internal relations or internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, peaceful coexistence. These are the 5 principles. Now, I told you about what is foreign policy. I told you about who is the architect of Indian foreign policy. I told you about who is the architect of Indian foreign policy. Now, mention any 2 major objectives of Nehru's foreign policy. Mention any 2 major objectives of Nehru's foreign policy. One more question. The two major objectives of Nehru's foreign policy are. The 2 major objectives of Nehru's foreign policy are, number 1, to keep away from the politics of 2 power blocks. But Nehru wanted to keep India aloof from the 2 power blocks which were there at the time, which are formed after World War II. To keep away from the politics of 2 superpowers or 2 powers blocks and pursue an independent foreign policy. Second one, support to international peace and security. India always ready to support international peace and security. Whenever the international peace seems to be in danger, whenever there is a need of international security, India is definitely will be ready to offer its services. So, support to international security and peace, and to peaceful settlement of all international disputes. India will work for the peaceful settlements of all the disputes in the world. One more I am telling from my side, though it was asked too. Opposition to imperialism. India always opposes imperialism, colonialism, and racialism. India always opposes colonialism, imperialism, racism. So these three isms India is always opposing in its foreign policy, through its foreign policy. Okay, next one. Next one is define India's policy of non-alignment. Define India's foreign policy of non-alignment, or same question can be asked like this. What is meant by non-alignment? We have studied already this one. But again we are reading this one in this India's external relations chapter. So what is meant by non-alignment, or define India's policy of non-alignment? Listen the answer. Non-alignment is an important characteristic of India's foreign policy. Non-alignment is an important characteristic of India's foreign policy. Non-alignment means the policy of keeping of military alliance, keeping out of military alliance, not to join, not to ally. Simple words I can say, non-alignment is not to join, not to ally with a military group. Non-alignment means the policy of keeping out of military alliance, freedom of judge international issues. We should have independent judgment in international issues, okay, on merit, and freedom of action. India's policy of non-alignment is not a policy of neutrality. Here this sentence can be seen carefully. India's foreign policy of non-alignment, many people, many countries, they criticize that it's a policy of negative foreign policy. People consider it is a negative foreign policy. So India's foreign policy of non-alignment is a policy of neutrality. It is not correct. India's policy of non-alignment is not a policy of neutrality. It's a positive foreign policy. It is a positive foreign policy whenever peace seems to be in danger. Whenever there is a need of security, then India is ready to extend her services for that one. But at the same time, India will not lose her independence. It should always have independence of judgment based on merit and freedom. It is a positive policy, foreign policy, to realize the objects of peace, freedom, and friendship with all the like-minded nations. At present 116 countries or 116 countries are the members of non-alignment. These many countries are the members of non-alignment. Okay, at present these many countries are there. Okay. Now, explain any two aspects of India's nuclear policy. Explain any two aspects of India's nuclear policy. Listen carefully. Explain any two aspects of India's nuclear policy. Number one. The two aspects of India's nuclear policy are the two aspects of India's nuclear policy are: number one, as a result of the nuclear explosions. We know that Pokhran, India made twice the nuclear test. So, as a result of the nuclear explosions conducted by India in 1974, it was conducted at where? Pokhran in Rajasthan. 1974. Again, it was conducted in 1998. So, as a result of the nuclear explosion conducted by India in 1974 and 1998, India became the sixth nuclear country in the world. Here, America, Russia, Canada, France, these are nuclear countries. India is still a supporter of policy of disarmament. Not to encourage arms and weapons. India always encourages disarmament, not armament. So India is still a supporter of policy of disarmament and favors the total destruction of all nuclear weapons. India was not in favor of possessing nuclear weapons. India is not in favor of armament. It is always in favor of disarmament, not to possess nuclear weapons. India has declared that we believe in the policy of live and let live. India always says that India believes in a foreign policy of that we live or live and let live. Geo or Ginedo. Live and let live. And the nuclear weapons shall be used only for self defense. If you are possessing any nuclear weapons, it should be used only for self defense, not to wage war on other countries. Clear? Oh, only this much I am keeping today because I am not well today. So students, you please watch this video carefully, and I am sharing some question answers. You read them. You read those question answers which are there in our syllabus. Other questions you don't read. Clear? Thank you. Take care.